Hey there YouTube, Lator Awesome here, and welcome back to Pokemon FireRed Omega. In the last part, we caught a Snorlax and got a Lapras and got to Fuchsia City. And in this part, we're going to, well, rate some Pokemon. But first, I'm going to take out the trainers here in Route 18 with Captain Zap, because I feel like it. I looked it over. Routes 17 and 18 do not actually have any new Pokemon that I haven't covered yet. So I don't have to do anything there. Yay! You know what? I will switch out for this Xatu just because. Yeah, the trainers here are all bird catchers. I mean, bird keepers. And, that means Captain Zap's just gonna have himself a little field day. And he's trying to learn Psychic! Oh, yes. Dude, Captain Zap, that was amazing. Whoa, that's a high-level Gulpin. You, fight me. Yeah, Psychic. Gonna be really helpful against the next gym. Especially since I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble for the next gym. But that is not important. What is important right now is this. The Safari Zone. Home of, wait for it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new Pokemon! 14! So, here's how the Safari Zone works. You pay 500 Pokédollars, and you get 30 Safari Balls to catch as many Pokemon as you can. Now, this is, I believe, technically the center zone of the Safari. What? Miltank? Did I already cover Miltank? Hold on. I'm confused. I don't know if I covered Miltank or not. I'm gonna assume I did. I think I did. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so I hadn't covered Miltank yet. It didn't appear on my listings for Pokemon in the Safari Zone. Anyway, Miltank is a pure normal type Pokemon introduced in the second generation. It's kind of good. It's known for being super evil in one particular fight that I won't spoil because I'll be eventually doing a second gen game. But Miltank gets 5 out of 10 for in-game, kind of just a decent normal type. Now, how this Safari Zone works is you have 600 steps to... Well, that's different. You have 600 steps to catch as many Pokemon as you can. There's all sorts of Pokemon here. I am going to be pausing until I find a new one. I think there's only one left in this region, so hold on. Okay, that's good enough. This is Quagsire. Quagsire here is the evolution of Wooper. Wooper is a water ground type introduced in the second generation. Wooper is pretty good. Well, Quagsire here is pretty good. He's going to get a 6 out of 10 in game for me because he's just not as good compared to the other water ground types, those being Swampert and Whiscash. But he's still pretty good. So I can recommend him, just not as much as the others. Also, take note, the levels are ridiculous, and it took me it took me basically half my time just to find that. It's sandstorming here? Okay, so looks like Drayano edited the entire format here. You're a Trapinch. I don't care about you. Hold on. This is East, so... Okay, I know what I'm looking for. Hold on. I got a Sunny Day TM. Oops. Okay, the first new Pokemon you can find here in the eastern part of the Safari Zone is Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn is a ground rock type introduced in the first generation. Why ground rock instead of rock ground? Just to mess people up when they're trying to guess what Pokemon's types are. Yeah, that's the only reason I could ever think of. Rhyhorn here is actually pretty good. He is ground rock, which isn't great, but he has huge attack, huge defense, and I've used him a few times. He gets a 6 out of 10 in game because he's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. And so, yeah, that's Rhyhorn. And now I have 133 steps to find the next new Pokemon here, which I have not found yet. Whoop-de-doo. Before I found a Pokemon... Wait. No, that's not it. This is a Trapinch. Before I found a Pokemon, I found an item. Yay! And I didn't find it. Your Safari game is over. Yeah, once you run out of steps, your Safari game ends and you have to pay again. So, back we go to searching for the Pokemon I was looking for before. Yes, finally found it. Okay, this is Skarmory. Skarmory is a steel flying type introduced in the 2nd generation. And wow, that's a really weird looking picture for it. Anyway, Skarmory here is probably the best physical tank in the game. Maybe not anymore, but definitely was when he was introduced and for a very long time. Here's the thing. Tanks aren't that great for in-game use. Skarmory here is going to get a 6 out of 10 for me just because I've used him in game a few times and he just takes so long to beat everything. For, you know, metagame, he's fantastic, but in-game, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's good and his type is phenomenal, but he's just not as good as some other Pokemon. I think that's all the items I can get here. Of course, I ran into another Skarmory. It took me like forever to find one. Ooh. That's a berry. Neat. Okay, now here I am in... Hold on. What does this say? Safari Zone. I think this is the north region of the Safari Zone now, and there's a heck of a lot of new Pokemon here. Venomoth is not one I need to cover because I covered Venonat, but here we go. Wow, I'm so happy this is the first thing to appear. Scyther here. Scyther is a bug flying type introduced in the 1st generation. It's also the first new Pokemon I found here in the northern part of the Safari Zone. Scyther is amazing. Okay, he's really fast and his attack stat is great. He evolves through a trade by holding a metal coat in most games. In this one, I think it's probably by level up at some point into Scyther, who is a bug steel type. Very different Pokemon, still based on attack, but more bulky, and Scyther loses all of Scyther's speed in exchange for living through things, and losing all of his weaknesses except for fire. Scyther is amazing, so is Scyther. Both of them get an 8 out of 10 for in-game use, just because, I mean, they're just not good enough to get a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, because they do die. I mean, you hit Scyther with most moves, it dies. You hit Scyther with fire, it dies. But other than that, they're fantastic. And Scyther is, of course, amazing in the metagame. So, next one! The next Pokemon I found here in the Safari Zone North is Execute. Execute is a Grass and Psychic type introduced in the 1st generation. Don't ask me why it has a Grass and Psychic type, even though it's a pile of eggs. I don't know. Execute here is, like, always found in the Safari. I always seem to only find it in Safari Zones. I don't know if that's just me. I know that it can appear in other places, in other games, but whatever. Execute here is... Okay, I'll say it. He's not that good. He's a Grass and Psychic type, which is an interesting type, but it leaves him with a lot of weaknesses. He gets a 5 out of 10 for in-game use. He evolves with the Leaf Stone, too, which kind of hinders him. He doesn't have the best move pool, but he gets a 5 out of 10 just because his typing is pretty good. Yeah, so next one! I found it! Okay. Chauncey! Chauncey here is a normal type introduced in the 1st generation. I already kind of covered its evolution, Blissey, which wasn't introduced till 2nd gen. Chauncey is really, really, really rare. And that's why I'm so happy I found one. I haven't even used up... I mean, this is still my 2nd trip into the Safari Zone, and I'm already, like, halfway done. I'm so happy. Oh, man, I still have a lot to go, though. Anyway, Chauncey here was introduced in the 1st generation. It has the most HP out of any Pokemon except Blissey. I think nobody else has more HP than it. 5th gen one may have taken that title, but, I mean, not Blissey's. Blissey will always have the most, but Chauncey may not be the 2nd most anymore. Chauncey, other than that HP and its special defense, which is pretty good, it's not good. For in-game use, Chauncey is terrible. Just flat out really bad, because it doesn't get any good attack moves. It takes forever for it to kill something, and it dies to physical attacks in a second. It has the lowest... I'm pretty sure it has the lowest base physical defense in the game. So Chauncey here gets a 1 out of 10 for in-game use. Although Chauncey and its evolution Blissey are both amazing for the metagame. Kind of just one of those cases. Blissey would get a 3 out of 10 for in-game if you can get a Blissey. But yeah, Chauncey and Blissey are just not that good for in-game use. So, okay, next one. Okay, the next new Pokemon you can find here in the northern part of the Safari Zone is Smeargle. which I didn't have in the northern part, I had in the west, but I guess you can find it in both places. Anyway, Smeargle here is a normal-type Pokemon introduced in the 2nd generation. Smeargle is very interesting in that the only move it learns naturally is Sketch. Now, what Sketch does is it takes the last move used by the opponent and takes it forever. Sketch has 1 PP, you can only use it once. Whatever move the opponent used last, you get forever. As such, Smeargle is kind of like, it's really hard to actually get him to have the moves that you want him to have, and he only learns Sketch once at each, like at level 1, 11, 21, and so on. He gets a 3 out of 10 for in-game use just because he's so unpredictable. He doesn't have that good of stats, and while he does have some interesting uses, like metagame, you can give him whatever moves you want, but it still takes forever to get a good Smeargle up. So, 3 out of 10 for Smeargle. And the very next Pokemon I find is Pitzer. Pitzer here is a pure bug type introduced in the 1st generation. Pitzer and Scyther are kind of like mirrored to each other a lot of the time because they were both found only in the Safari Zone, one in red version, one in blue version. Pitzer was found in blue version. And they're both bugs. They're both pretty darn strong for bugs. Pitzer has huge attack stat, pretty good physical defense too. Only thing is, Pitzer, as a pure bug type, isn't that great. He's going to get a 6 out of 10 for in-game for me, just because when you compare him to other good bug types like Butterfree, who has all the status conditions and the like special attacks, and Scyther, who's pretty much the same as Pitzer, just better, faster, and stronger, and with flying type that gets him a lot of advantages. Pitzer just isn't that great. Sure, he's a really good Pokemon, but in-game, he's just not as good as the other bugs. I've used him a couple times, and he's just like... He's decent, but not great, so 6 out of 10. And the final new Pokemon in the north, although I think there's another one that I could find, but I'm not going to try right now. The final new Pokemon here is Tropius. Tropius is a grass-flying type introduced in the 3rd generation. He's the first grass-flying type that actually can, like, learn flying-type moves naturally in the generation in which he appears. Hoppip's family being introduced earlier, but not having that ability. Tropius here is kind of weird. He's not very good. I've used him in the game a couple times. He doesn't have the best moves. He doesn't have the best stats. But he gets a 4 out of 10 for me for pure in-game use. But Tropius here can learn a ton of HM moves, and that's why I'm going to try to catch one right here. He gets a 10 out of 10 for in-game, for HM abuse, basically. He ran away. Shoot. I have 172 steps. I can try to get something from them. Another pincer. But anyway, yeah, Tropius just, he learns so many HMs that he's very worth catching whenever you see one. Ooh, a Steel Wing TM. Let's see if I can get another item out of this. I can. It's protein. Yay. You can see there's a ton of Pokemon that appear here in the Safari Zone, and time's up. Yep. Okay. One area left to cover. Lotads, go away. And that is in the west of the Safari Zone, which... yeah, okay, it didn't modify it that much. So there are 5 more Pokemon here. Let's get to it. And the first new Pokemon that you find here in the western part of the Safari Zone is Haircross. Haircross is a bug-fighting Pokemon introduced in the 2nd generation. Let me put this simply. Haircross is amazing. Bug fighting gets it access to some really powerful moves. It doesn't... I mean, it has a bunch of weaknesses, but his physical attack just kills stuff. He just kills stuff. I don't know why I have him ranked as a 7 out of 10. I guess just because if you hit him with a flying move, he dies. But I'm going to change that to a 9 out of 10. Because I used a Haircross again recently and was like, wow, this thing just kills stuff. Yeah, Haircross is just a beast. If you can catch one here, good for you. Yeah. Yes, the very next thing I ran into. Kangaskhan! Kangaskhan here is a normal type introduced in the 1st generation. Also only found in the Safari Zone in the 1st gen and this gen and stuff. Kangaskhan is exactly a lesser Snorlax. It's a little bit faster, but everything else is just worse. Kangaskhan, I've used one. It's like, it's decent, but you just feel the whole time like everything you're doing, Snorlax could do 10 times better. Kangaskhan, therefore, gets a 4 out of 10 for in-game for me just because he's so hard to find, so hard to catch, and then while he does have good moves, he's just like, I don't know, the whole time you're just like, why aren't you Snorlax? And that really hurts his rating. So, yeah. Oh man, the very next run-in, again, I'm so happy right now. This is Shuckle. Shuckle is a bug rock type, or is it rock bug? I can never remember. Introduced in the second generation. Shuckle is weird. Shuckle has the highest defense and special defense of any Pokemon, like, ever. He's just, like, super defensive. This one probably has defenses of, like, 200 or something. It's level 37. It's ridiculous. Here's the thing. He has terrible HP, no attack, no special attack, and no speed. He has like 10 speed, which is the lowest, I think, of any Pokemon. No, I think he's tied with Munchlax for the lowest of any Pokemon. He's slow! Let me just put it that way. As such, Shuckle is really annoying if you want to teach it Toxic, which is a move that badly poisons, which increases the poison damage every turn, and then stall forever. As such, in-game, not so useful. Sure, he can kill pretty much anything, but it takes like half an hour to kill everything. And he might die if he gets hit with a critical hit because his HP is so low and he doesn't have very good recovery. So, Shuckle gets a 2 out of 10 for in-game for me, just because I've tried to use one, and I got bored. Because one battle took literally 25 minutes. And I was like, yeah, no. So, that does it for Shuckle. I like Shuckle. He's just not good. What? That was weird. Anyway. And again, the next Pokemon I've run into. I'm so happy right now. This is Stantler. Stantler here is a pure normal type Pokemon introduced in the second generation. Stantler looks like a reindeer, and that makes him cool. Other than that, he's not very good. He learns like Hypnosis and some okay-ish attacks. He'll get a 4 out of 10 from me just because you can use him as a physical attacker, and you can teach him like Hypnosis, and he can be really annoying. But other than that, he doesn't have much. And with so many good normal types going around, Stantler is not that great. So, last Pokemon is Tauros. Yes, Tauros is the final new Pokemon that you can find in the Spire Zone. I'm done with this place. Ha 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 ha! Anyway, Tauros is a normal type Pokemon introduced in the first generation. It's a bull, as you can see. Tauros is... again, I hate to do it, but I have to compare pretty much every normal type you find in here to Snorlax, because you get one just before you come here. But, wow, this thing is high-leveled. Yikes. I haven't actually looked in the Safari Zone before in this game, so... anyway, Tauros is almost as good as Snorlax, actually, because he's fast. And he's strong, and like pretty much every normal type, he has a huge move pool. He gets a 7 out of 10 for in-game use, just because he dies quickly, which is weird, because you expect him to be like a tank, but he kind of isn't. So, that does it for all the new Pokemon found in the Safari Zone. There's also stuff like the Nidoran evolutions that I felt like I should mention, and things like that, but I'm going to try to see 197 steps. I might have an outside shot of making it. Safari Zone is a great place to fill out your Pokemon. Oh, right. Gold Teeth. Get that item. Because as the sign says, the Warden would like his teeth back. So, very good of you to get that. And that's the TM for Double Team. And here's where you want to go. What does that guy do? Finally, you're the first person to reach the secret house. And you get HM03. That's Surf. Surf is the best HM in the game. I'm pretty sure everyone's okay with me saying that. Surf is a strong water move. It's accurate. It's replacing Water Pulse. It lets you surf on water, which is an incredibly useful skill. What do you say? Waters west of Cerulean City? That's the flipping final place you go in the game, man! What's the matter with you? You want to send me there? I'll die. Oh, yeah. Now I'm just gonna basically run out my time here. I'll catch an arena. I said I'll catch an arena. Thank you. Just to add something to the Pokedex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I didn't catch my fair share. I caught 1 Nidorina. But whatever! I'm done with the Safari Zone! Do the Dance of Joy! Da, 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 da. That was my Dance of Joy. Don't like it? Deal with it. But yay! I'm done the Safari Zone. I don't have to do it anymore. But anyway, the Warden said he wanted his gold teeth back. He pops in his teeth and now he can talk. So it gives you strength. Yeah, 2 HMs right off the bat. Or right away, next to each other. Red Eyes, you can learn strength? Well, there we go. You don't need smog, you need strength. Didn't know you could learn that. I was, like, really worried about who I would give strength to, but whatever. Since we already have the rainbow badge, we can use strength right away and get a free rare candy. Yeah, that's what's up. So, in this episode, we covered the entirety of the Safari Zone, and it only took me... Did it only take me 3 trips? It's amazing! I'm so happy right now. Oh, this guy! He's the move deleter! He can delete your HM moves. It's super helpful. And these people are Bill's family. You remember Bill, that guy who was turned himself into a Pokemon and stuff? Yeah... Anyway, down here is some water, which we can't go in yet, because while we did get Surf, we have to beat this gym to use it. Yeah. So, in the next episode, even though I'm pretty sure that gym is gonna, like, kill me, because these are the only guys I have with super effective moves against. Ooh, hold on. Hold on, an idea is creeping into my brain. You can buy Dig TMs. As many as you want. And I have not used Rapid Spin, I don't think. At least not on purpose. Dig! Yes! Now Bolt has a super effective move to use in the gym. Because if you couldn't tell by the sign, the Poisonous Ninja Master, he's a ninja who uses poison. If you'll recall, I've been poisoned by pretty much every attack that could potentially poison me so far in this game. Yeah. This is gonna be fun. For you. I'm gonna die. Okay, that's all. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See ya!